The phrase "I have an opinion" sometimes may translate the same as "I'm not racist but," especially in these last two woke-oriented decades.
You gonna fucking kill me because I have an opinion?
But I do. I believe sex is a fact, and I'm gonna do yet the most risky video of this channel. But before you crucify another content creator for not agreeing with your opinions, whichever side you belong to, I'd like to invite you to watch the old video on how humans and their science will snatch Mother Nature's steering wheel and question everything we believe to be facts today. Happy Pride Month, and welcome to another video of Blank Note. Religion and any other human-made social structure, no matter how liberal or conservative it is, to my eyes, is just that, human-made. By that definition, how life happens cannot be explained based on the human ego. Science does not care about feelings, nor society morals. Nonetheless, I believe everybody should have the right to have his say on what we should make of our time on this planet, and in the end, we should leave it to democracy to decide how we will evolve. I believe we are simple chemistry. Atoms of hydrogen once trapped in stars, far away in distant galaxies, which then exploded and billions of years later now rest in this beautiful temporary life form. At the very core, a human being is just chemical reactions. And the blueprint of how all of those chain reactions behave is stored in a unique combination of 4 basic acids called DNA. They link to each other in pairs of 2. Aided by sugar and phosphate molecule, form 2 long strands of spirals called a double helix. This helix threads into a structure called chromosome, and each molecule in the human body normally contains 23 pairs of chromosomes, 46 in total. The last pair of the bunch determines your biological sex, XX combination for female or XY for male. However, there are rare occasions which fall out of this law, such as Klinefelter syndrome, people who have XXY chromosomes, Swyer syndrome, women with XY chromosomes, and XX male syndrome, men with XX chromosomes. Mutations which can have low to severe implications in one's life. Thankfully, gene therapy exists and can make people's life easier when needed. At this point of time in history, the final word of science is, you cannot wake up one day and decide to be another biological sex. For now. In 1973, biochemist Herbert Boyer and Stanley Cohen developed genetic engineering by inserting DNA from one bacteria into another, marking the very first success in a revolutionary science field called Genome Engineering. By adding, replacing, or cutting pairs of those base combinations, humans could now alter biological traits of living organisms. The most common use of genetically modified organisms is widely spread in crops and food in general, giving them more longevity or nutrition value. Another great example is the human insulin, approved in 1982, which have been saving people's lives since then. The latest success in the field came in the form of the COVID-19 vaccine. Scientists took a common cold virus and spliced in the same spike protein genetic sequence from the actual coronavirus, making the human body recognize the danger without actually living it. But the thinker is always trying to push things. As our species try to look far away into outer space, we look the other way too, deep inside us. The science of genetic engineering, being bordered by ethics, animal trials only, and also knowledge level, is very narrow. Nevertheless, the toes have already been dipped. Human genetic modification is mostly being done pre-birth, usually to prevent genetically inheritable diseases. This is why we see novelty cases of babies with 3 parents, first successfully attempted in UK in 2017. When one of the pair has a section of genes that can result in diseases, that specific section gets replaced by a third DNA donor. Although controversial and sometimes exaggerated, the technique of designer babies is believed to be already done among circles of the rich. In theory, a baby can be pre-programmed with certain desirable traits, skin color, intelligence level, height, etc. In practice, we can now decide eye color for pre-born rich babies. But back to the main story. Sex change. Will it be possible? Yes. Kind of. Scientists have turned male mice into females by snipping out strands of their DNA. Researchers at the Francis Crick Institute in London showed that they could reverse the sex of a male mice by deleting a chunk of DNA called enhancer 13. Mammal embryos are destined to grow ovaries and become females, unless the sex organs get enough of a protein called SOX9 early on in the womb. The protein turns the organs into testes, which then steer the embryo down the path to maleness. Enhancer 13 boosts SOX9 levels at precisely the right time to produce testes. When it was snipped out of the genetic code, male mice went on to become females. Although this is an embryo procedure and getting it practiced among humans would pose critical ethical questions, it will, on the other hand, clarify a lot of questions on human sexuality. Also, the sex reversal has not been done to a fully formed fetus, so science doesn't yet know how to reverse engineer something that has already taken shape. Sex still remains a fact, but humans will dig deeper. We know that for a fact. We might or might not be around when this happens, but there will certainly be a day where human DNA will be modified dal vivo, meaning grown individuals will be able to ask for a change in their body. When medical science gets granted access to the quantum realm of the human body, when nanoscopic layers will be fully mapped and conquered, our species will not be the same. Athletic bodies, simple like that, no diseases whatsoever, maybe unimaginable levels of intelligence, maybe immortality, DNA surgery for better looks, longer limbs, stronger physique, quicker recovery, baldness, no more sunburn, asthma, diabetes. Sex will be probably one of the hardest to perform, but it will happen. But if we ever get to that phase, must we never forget the human imagination is a very avid one. We are young and liberal now, but who knows what will the newest generations bring to the table? I'm talking weird stuff. Green skin, red eyes, animal-like traits, multiple genitalia, and who knows what will be a fact at that point. Sure, the ethical moral debate will always be present, but it will probably revolve around thoughts unimaginable to our brains today. Believe it or not, we will be that racist grandpa at some point, no matter how open-minded we are now. When the interplanetary species milestone will be reached, we will probably look exactly like the aliens we have been portraying in the stories we tell today. Of course, the last part of the video was more like the after the blunt hits thought process, rather than any based arguments. But why not? Let us have some fun speculating on a reality we have absolutely no control on. These are my thoughts. I'd love to hear yours. How close or far am I from reality? Feel free to join me for a chat in the comment section. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.